What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Bottom of the Bill. This week we got Kalen King, a.k.a. Korndog, and Alex Sears on the show. These guys are part of Cluster, which is the band that Chris is also in. It's always fun having our friends on. It's just very much like a hang, and there's less of an interview process, and it's less of like getting to know each other. It's just fun, man. We get to catch up. We don't get to see each other very often, so it was a cool hang. We got into some really good spaces, I think, too, just conversationally about music and what, songwriting in general, that kind of thing means to us. So I thought it was very cool. Before we get started with the episode, though, we just want to encourage everybody, check out the merch store, which is in the description below. Subscribe, like, follow us on all the platforms, all that good stuff. But most importantly, share. If you guys are getting some out of this, share the episodes with your friends and family and whoever, because the more we can get the word out about this, the more visibility comes to the people that we have on the show itself, and ultimately the amazing community that we have here in Jacksonville, in Florida, and beyond. Because musicians, doesn't really matter where we're at. I feel like we're all connected on that level. So the more we can get the word out about what we're doing, the more it helps grow the whole thing, guys. So without further ado, here is Korndog and Alex Sears.
This is Bottom of the Bill.
Blah 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 blah. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's your favorite. Feel free to do that.
That's what I'm gonna do.
This is gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all staying in. I started recording.
It's already recording?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, welcome to another edition of Bottom of the Bill, guys. We've got the return of Korndog.
Not
Kalen
wasted this
King,
time.
Not wasted. And then our first time guest, Alex Sears. We just found out his name is Grouper today.
That's right. Korndog and the Grouper.
Korndog and the Grouper.
Episode 1.
This is your new
Take A.
Your new fanny pack line.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck.
Fanny
We're actually repping the new line right now.
Okay.
Fanny packs for life.
Did you say you were wasted last time?
Oh, yeah.
It was. We got hammered on that one.
Yeah, me and Caleb drank like an entire 12-pack and was just like going crazy.
Yeah.
Those are rookie numbers, my guy.
I think we did a barbecue afterwards too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we were fucking toasted.
Out here?
No, this one we were doing at Billy's place, and Billy's
Gotcha,
still a part of the podcast. Yeah.
I mean, you got plenty of room out here to barbecue it up.
Oh, totally.
Throw a whole parking lot party.
Totally,
Yeah.
bro. Do a block party.
Yeah.
Fucking dope.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what's been going on, boys? How's life? What's been happening in the world of you and now Cluster? It's a new big project.
Yeah, man. We both work day jobs, so
Yeah.
we've been working.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Working and then dealing with that chunky baby I got.
Yeah, you got a baby now.
Yeah.
How's it feel? How's the dad life?
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, I'm not sleeping much,
Yeah, I can imagine.
but a lot of fun. She is super funny.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of my time laughing,
Yeah.
which is great, So
Was it everything that you hoped and dreamed it was going to be?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was even more than I thought, because I've never wanted a kid, because it was just like, I don't want it to go with the music or get in the way of music instead, that's what I thought, but now it's like, you just figure out a way to have them both together.
I feared that as well when Luna was born, and you just find a way to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
It is tougher though.
Yeah.
A lot tougher.
I would imagine, yeah. But I've also heard, from some people that it motivates them to like go harder with it because now there's a purpose bigger than just your own.
I would say the biggest one is that people are they're focusing their time better.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the extra things after work that would usually be like fun, like kick back, relax kind of R&R situations, they're going home and like focusing in their time and just being better at time management.
Right.
Everything about having a child throws off your entire schedule and your like what you're used to.
Everything changes
Everything changes.
right then, dude.
Yeah.
But it's awesome though too, because like when you go to practice, like it's game time.
Yeah.
You're not getting distracted by everything else and do stupid crap. It's like, no, I got an hour to do this and I got to do it like right now.
Right.
So
Right.
it's tons of fun. It is like hard work, but it's not near as bad as like everybody makes it out. They're like, I'm so worn out and like tired. And I'm like, dude, I've been worn out and tired my entire life. Like, I don't care about that crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's where I also found my love for coffee.
Right.
Oh man, When Luna
Gross.
was born, I had never had coffee. Had never had coffee in my life, and I was working 3 jobs. And this old dude that I worked with was like, "Oh, let me show you the trick," and fixed me up like a giant 32-ounce coffee. Boy, I was zinging. I've been drinking coffee ever since.
Coffee's definitely a lifesaver, man. I stopped drinking it for a while because I found other things that helped me for way too long. But now I'm like back on the coffee train because I'm not doing the other things anymore. So like, and it's been a lifesaver. But I'm drinking so much of it all of the time.
Yeah.
Like just so much coffee. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean it definitely helps with the focus. I can't imagine trying to juggle a family life and then you guys working regular jobs and then on top of like the gigging thing and writing and the whole thing. Like, it must be just an insane workload for you guys.
Yeah, I've got 3 calendars
Yeah.
to make sure I've got everything down and whatnot, you know? But
Yeah.
it's also like, it's just finding the time to do it. You know?
I'm the worst about a calendar too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've gotten so much better about it in the past couple years, but I
don't do my
am the
calendar.
worst.
Haley and
like-
Whitney do my calendar. I don't do my calendar.
Oh, really? You got assistants?
Oh, he's got assistants.
Yeah, he was fancy, bro.
Yeah, they help me out.
Fancy.
Yeah.
She'll tell me something and I'll be like, hey, just to make sure, what did you just tell me again? And she'll be like, do you even listen?
Yeah.
It's like, I did. But it's
sorry, what
gone.
was that?
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a matter of not listening. It's a matter of retaining. I was
Exactly.
listening when you were talking.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
forgot what you said.
And it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. So you guys have been doing the cluster thing for a little while now.
Yeah.
How did this all come to happen? Because this is kind of like, because then Vagabonds was kind of taking a break for a while,
Yep.
and then S.P.O.R.E is kind of just gigging when you guys want type situation.
Yeah, probably once a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
So then it's like you guys all get together and start this new project. How does it all happen?
What it was, man, was like you said, Vagabonds was taking the break or ending, is what it was, and I had to fill those dates that I had. So I was just throwing together like random bands with random people, and then like that was a lot of fun. But then like it started like it was always Sean, you know, and then it was Sean and Adam, you know, and then it was a random guitar players like you did a couple of gigs with me and everything.
Yeah.
And when Chris joined in on one time over there, like that just fit even more, you know.
He's so far away.
And then it was like John Wilson was that guy, and then he had to stop playing because his hands and whatnot. And then we
Right.
had Alex, you know, and that was the, you know, the feel right there. I was like, this is it, you know, this is the one. And then I was like, what do I call it though? I was like, it's just a cluster of people though. So boom, cluster. And then of course it ended up being like, you know, cluster fucks kind of thing. But
Right. Cluster fucks. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
And you guys have been writing and stuff also?
Yeah, man, when we can, we're
Yeah.
trying to and whatnot. But I keep throwing like random like covers at them and everything. So we're like trying to learn covers and write, which never really work out because they're not easy covers, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's hard to balance because when you have limited time to rehearse, you want to write and collaborate on stuff, but then you want to learn cover tunes to throw in the mix too.
yeah, especially when you've been playing a lot of those covers a lot. And you're like, yeah, let's go switch up the set list. But you got to focus on that too, because you're not just going to pull that off without rehearsing it.
Right, right.
And, you know, with everybody being working musicians and also, you know, half of us are dads, and it just, you know, that time you end up working on something that's going to be easiest to flow right then.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that impulse. It's like there's always like that thing where you want to. It's also the same like when you're trying to build sets for like festivals and stuff like that too, where you're like, okay, well, we have this one rehearsal, and we do want to write, but we have this festival coming up, and we need to like have a set list for that.
Yeah.
So instead of like working on new material or even new covers, you're working out how to make the set flow, whatever transitions you want to work out or whatever jam sections you want to implement. Like you're just working out the little details within the set, and it ends up being like it's hard to like maintain, I guess, like the excitement, I think, or like that freshness, right?
yeah,
Does that ever happen with you guys in like the different bands that you've been involved with, where it's like you feel like you want to be creative or like do all these things, but because you have limited time, you end up recycling workloads?
oh yeah,
Definitely.
man, yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Like the first band I was in, we played the same set list over and over and over again for like 6 years because all we were doing was writing. We put out 4 albums.
Oh,
But
really?
at the same time, like when we played live show, I was so bored I could fall asleep like playing the bass, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so but it was a lot of fun, you know, but still it's like I can't even listen to Can't You See no more. You know, because it's like 6 years of that shit. I'm out. I'm
Tell
out.
me about
I'm
it,
out,
bro.
man.
Yeah.
You know. And then
You want to cover that song?
of course.
Of course.
I'll play the flute.
All right, now you talked me into it.
There we are.
Done deal.
Done.
We're seeing magic happen on air, guys. Cluster is just announcing their deep cut cover
Deep cut.
of Can't You See?
Yeah, man, we should really scrap the whole Steely dance that we've been working on and just rip
Marshall Tucker,
Bodhisattva.
man. It's just a 45-minute version of Can't You See?
Yeah.
Can't you see these people walking out the door?
Yeah. More puns. I'm loving it.
Getting it, dude.
Yeah. I'm curious as to how this dynamic with this band is been different than the last bands you guys have been in, because S.P.O.R.E was doing stuff for a long time.
I think the advantage to S.P.O.R.E, not to cut you off,
No,
but would have just been the fact that we were all early to mid-20s at the time. Life had not really begun. We all had all the time in the world. We had a band spot that we rented that Joe actually ended up living at. That was a nightmare story, long story there. But
Nice.
it got greasy.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were all there all the time made it easy. Like if you look at like a lot of the greatest bands of all time, at some point in time in their band career, usually in the beginning, they all had a band house
Right.
that they all lived at, and collectively, because you know how music can be, where all of a sudden you're like, ooh, I've got this idea, I need to do it right now. Well, your bandmates are right there and they hear it and you're like, yo, hop on that bass real quick.
Right.
And the next thing you know, boom, you have a song.
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes that magic can happen and it's like 5 minutes. But if you don't harness that in that 5 minutes, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely.
For sure, man.
Yeah, I think that was the advantage, though, is that we're just all younger. With Cluster, it's different because we're all more professional. So actually learning the songs, talking to each other and being like, hey, we're down to do this. Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then people actually do that. And that's cool because we always had these crazy ideas in S.P.O.R.E, but nobody would actually do the homework.
Right.
Which is why we were just an original music band. We only played one cover ever in our...
What was the cover that you guys did?
Can't you see?
It was...
Yeah, that one fucking
Damn,
loaded,
that
bro.
was quick, dude. Boom, he was sitting there waiting.
I know.
Get it, bam.
That was good. It was West LA Fade Away.
Okay.
And we had SD Love sing it and do some acoustic on it. And that was
Nice.
pretty cool. We just decided after that, we were like, that's not really our thing. And so we just did the original music.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of, at one point, it was kind of like you had to choose one or the other anyways. Nowadays, it's such
100%.
a
You definitely
clusterfuck, no pun intended, but like it's where like bands are doing like Humphreys will do an entire night of covers and they'll do
Yeah.
their own version of it. But now you're seeing a lot, even like pop artists are
They
like,
have that
doing
entire
covers.
mashup cover album.
Yeah,
Donkey.
Yeah, Zonky, exactly. Yep. And it's wild how now that's becoming the dynamic where even like pop stars are starting to incorporate more cover songs into their sets, because I don't know what that is. Maybe there's just like this thing where there's so much music out there that people are just like, the consumer's not ready to take in anymore.
I think that it's amazing when people do a cover and do it justice.
Yeah.
Like real justice.
Especially when it matches the energy that's already there.
Correct.
You know, if it just takes it even higher than what it was. You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Or totally reinvent the song, right? It's like sometimes you'll hear people do a cover of a song and they completely reinvent it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like a very cool thing
Like
too.
what we're going to do with Can't You See.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yes.
You guys
We're
get
going
that.
to reinvent that.
The
You know what I mean?
electric flute. I can't wait.
It's going to be I Can't See.
I can't. Yes.
Can't see why I'm still in this fucking band with you guys at this point.
You're going nowhere, Chris. You're
Get
stuck
out of
with us,
here.
bro.
Yeah, you're definitely stuck.
All right, guys, this episode's brought to you by Best Buds CBD Store. If you're like me, maybe THC isn't always the right high for you, or maybe the legal status of THC has you a bit hesitant to indulge. So at Best Buds CBD Store, they have an array of CBD and Delta 8 THC products. These guys truly care about their service, so everything is meticulously sourced and prepared to deliver a top-notch product and experience. If you head to their website, you'll find all kinds of educational information regarding Delta THC and CBD. Not to mention, if you use promo code BotB, that's BOTB pod, you'll save 10% on your order. This is not a one-time deal. If you use promo code BotB pod, every time you place an order with Best Buds, it will give you 10% off. That's in perpetuity forever. So head over to bestbudscbdstore.com and start saving on all of your CBD and Delta 8 products. Enjoy, guys.
Are you guys going to be trying to record an album or anything like that?
Yeah, we were talking about going to the studio this month, or trying to get a single going and whatnot and everything. But when we get enough material to do it, yeah, we would like to do that.
I think, what did we decide, that we would just every couple months record a single and just release just singles and singles?
Yeah,
You know, because I think that would be
the best way to go.
probably
about
the
it.
easiest way for all of us to do it time-wise.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it makes sense too because it keeps things consistent, right? And it's like you just like whatever the fucking, like everyone loves the hot term, the algorithm thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever that thing is that just keeps like your name and your music in people's ears, you know,
Relative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I've found that because I never post on social media, I use it strictly for trolling my friends and calling my brother fat.
Yeah.
Like, that is literally
Your brother is fat.
He's
a
a
fat.
fat
Yeah,
fuck,
big
dude.
time,
Fat
big time.
fuck, dude.
So
the fattest.
The fattest guy. Yeah.
I can
God,
feel his
went on
gravitational
vacation
pull.
with him. I don't think he stopped eating the whole time.
Actually, I'm feeling his
Neither did I,
gravitational
though.
pull from right here. I'm feeling. I think you're taking some of it with. Like, you've brought some of it with you.
The fat fuckery?
Not the fat fuckery. His gravitational pull.
Oh, yeah,
it's so
absolutely.
big that
Absolutely.
he's actually attached some of it to you.
And I'm fat enough that I'm like orbiting around him.
One of his mini moons.
I like how Greg's like not here to defend himself at all. Just
He's
like,
going to watch this later and be like, dude,
Dude, the fuck? Yeah, I haven't even
they
seen,
did a whole 7-minute segment on me.
I haven't seen Greg in like a year. He's like, Anton's not allowed to talk shit like that, bro. Actually, that reminds me of the time when, like, at Monster Mash, when I fucking
Oh God, dude.
went like just had a lot of fun, and I just like
So many donuts in Greg's car.
I just like hopped in his truck and just started doing donuts in the field. He like, hops out of his
Nice.
tent and he was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" I'm like, just doing. It was me and Sean.
Right.
Yeah.
They're doing donuts. And
Oh, Sean, I could definitely see instigating that.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I bet you won't.
For sure. Well, I think he was the one that was driving the first time, maybe. I don't remember. And then the second time, Chelsea and I got into the truck and started doing donuts in the field.
So Sean stole somebody's golf cart at Swanee one time and was riding around Halloween in a 1904 shirt, running over people's campsites yelling, "I'm Jason Honeycutt, suck my dick!" And so when Jason found out about it, he went up to Sean and was like, "Hey man, you got to at least take off the 1904 shirt." Like, it's
Keep saying it's me, but take the fucking shirt
right,
off.
exactly. At least
That
take my
is-
business shirt off.
That's so
Oh my
funny,
gosh.
bro.
My name's Jason Honeycutt, suck my dick. It was incredible.
Sean with a golf cart at Swanee is just
dangerous.
insane, man.
It's a fucking
dangerous.
it's like a
Yeah,
loaded
it's
gun,
dangerous.
bro.
It is.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I never heard that story before.
There's so many.
So we just do a whole podcast on Sean's stories.
Oh
Listen,
yeah.
I've known him
Let's
since I was
start now.
12. Come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
Let's fucking
It's going
go,
to be a
bro.
two-parter.
Oh, man.
Fuck, I forgot where I was going with that for a second. I got derailed by the fucking Monster Mash moment.
Dude, that festival, I was so hammered at that festival.
It was a lot of fun, man. That
I did
whole
not
week-
go to that one.
You didn't go to that
I
one?
was living in Dunedin still at the
Oh,
time.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, when did you come back to Jacksonville?
September 2021.
Okay.
So it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah. Damn, man. What prompted the move to Dunedin? You were just trying to get out for a little while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I originally moved to St. Pete. St. Pete was awesome. Super expensive place to live.
Yeah.
And then when I got the job at Dunedin Brewery, I was like, I should probably just move to Dunedin. Didn't know anything about the town. Turns out it's actually like a really cool, like super cool little hip town. And
Yeah.
so I stayed there for, it was like 5 or 6 years.
Damn. And
Something like that.
You were working at the brewery the whole time when you were there?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's Mike's done like an amazing thing with that spot.
Oh,
The
incredible.
music he brings
Yeah.
in, and just,
Incredible.
like
Yeah.
the beers. Is
All the shows are
phenomenal.
free. It's world-class beer.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole, he's a driving force behind that. I mean, his parents obviously founded the place, got it going, but when Mike took over, I think is when it really like blossomed and became, what it is
Yeah.
today.
yeah, man. Now he's opened up the Moon Tower thing
Right next door,
which is
yeah.
super cool. Like that's like a big space, so he can do like real big shows there and get like bigger, which he's been doing.
Absolutely, and it's a large open space too.
Yeah,
because that was actually Mike and Gary's auto clinic, which is where everybody in Dunedin pretty much took their car to get serviced.
Gotcha.
So it was a mechanic shop. It's just a giant, open 3-bay door.
And now it's
Nice.
like, I wonder do you know what the cap of that spot is?
I don't know. So they had just bought it right before I left the brewery, and so I'm not really sure a whole lot about it. I haven't been to a show there yet. If I had to guess what the cap is, it's hard because they have the bay doors. So like I don't know how the stage is. If it's in the back, then technically you have open air,
Right.
in the parking lot right there. So that could cap out at easily, 800 or 900.
That's fucking awesome.
Especially if overflow into the brewery's beer garden.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how the Dunedin did their laws are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it's all about
Money.
the money to
The old
them.
boy
So
stuff too. Yeah.
yeah, I remember originally they had Mike had kind of complained that the city only approved them to put like 2 4-top tables in that whole area. He was like, "Are you out of your mind? Like this is like
Wow.
it's like 1,000 square feet. Like
That's
what?
insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
So what are they doing now?
I think they fought that and have been approved now because obviously they have more seating out there and stuff now. But
Right.
yeah, I haven't been down in about a year, so I'm not 100% sure what that looks like now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see the updates and stuff on social media, and all the shows look fantastic and all the art on the walls. Have you seen like all the murals that what's her name? Whitney. I don't want to get her name wrong, but it's this chick Whitney, great muralist.
I
did like the whole Colonel Bruce
That's it. Yeah, I saw that
on
one.
the side of the building, which is an amazing
man.
It's
mural. That
amazing,
is so
man.
tight.
Yeah.
What a cool
Especially
tribute.
with Mike's ties to the late Colonel and stuff, and how many times he would play the brewery.
Yeah, man, that's fucking
Yeah.
amazing. It's so wild to think about, like a small brewery like that brings in the acts that they bring in, and they're free shows, and it's like it's crazy, man. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
having Corey Henry and like
Right.
fucking Nikki Glaspie and just like all these
Absolutely.
amazing
And
artists.
Power came through there regularly.
Yep.
Ghost Note's been through there
Ghost
several
Note,
times.
yep.
Yeah.
And then cultivating a local and regional scene with like up and coming bands as well. You know what I mean? It's just he's done such an amazing job for that.
I think the cool thing about it is that, like you said, they're all free shows. Guaranteed, no matter what show you go to, it's going to be a great band.
Yeah, definitely.
And that blows my mind because not every venue's like that. I mean, obviously, I'm an operator at a music venue, and it doesn't always work out that way.
No, totally.
Unfortunately.
Mike, I feel like he's pretty picky about who he lets play there.
For sure.
And I remember the first time I tried to get a gig there, it's like when I first came to Jacksonville and I was like putting together like my first iteration of one of my bands, and I was hitting them up like all the time. I could never get a response. And so I just started doing like 10 reasons why you should book my band. And then every day I would just email him another reason why. And I think
That's hilarious.
I got to reason
That's
like,
great.
I bet that was really annoying to him.
yeah, totally.
If I know Mike, he was probably like, who the fuck is this
yeah.
guy?
And that was already
Like-
after like
Well, it worked.
probably.
It worked. right.
Yeah,
There
it
you
was.
go.
That was already. I started doing that like maybe after 10 emails of no responses. I'm annoying as fuck, bro, and I'm
Right.
trying to like book like I'm annoying.
It works, dude.
And so after
Well,
like
persistence is key.
yeah, you
Yeah,
have
I
to
do
be
the same thing with
persistent.
jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Like
the
if
same
I
thing.
really want a job, I'll put in that application. They'll be like, "Yeah, we'll call you. I'll show up the next day."
Yeah,
Hey, so
Yeah.
what's up?
yeah,
I have not been called.
yeah.
You-
called. Yeah, the
You claimed that you would call me, sir.
yeah the audacity.
I
of
can
you
work
not calling
right
me.
now.
Not summoned
You
me
know what I
yet?
mean? And I'll tell you what, every job I've ever done that to, even if
Work.
they didn't have a position, they were like, "This guy shows up
Yeah,
consistently. We haven't even hired him yet.
yeah.
We'll find something for him to do. I bet he's a good employee." And then I end up,
Being a great
Not
employee.
being
great
terrible.
employee.
Being terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah. So rule of thumb for anybody who was trying to hire out there, people are being persistent. Just ignore them.
Yeah,
Just ignore them. They're nuts, bro.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts. Yeah, I think after reason like number 8 with Mike, he finally he like comes, he gets back. He's like laugh out loud. That shit's hilarious. What date do you want?
Nice.
I was like,
fuck
yes.
yeah.
Thank
That
God.
worked.
Hey,
Yeah.
Humor definitely works with Mike.
Yeah, I got that vibe. Then he did our pod, and like I've been playing there for a few years now.
Right.
And I've never really gotten to. I mean, just small talk in passing. But then he did our podcast last year.
Right.
And I got to really connect with him, and I really admired he's like a wordsmith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's very articulate in the way
He's super intelligent too.
Yeah, man. You could tell like the way he puts his words. Like it's truly thoughtful. Like he's really thinking about what he's trying to say and like the most efficient way to say it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I really respect that about him.
Yeah.
Are you guys playing there anytime soon? Is Cluster gonna be working there?
We really haven't, man. Like we haven't really done anything outside of like Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Just because I just wanted to build the following we have here up, you know, as much as possible. I don't do any like social media and anything for the band.
Yeah.
I'm like horrible at it, you know?
See, I'm with you, man. Fuck social media.
Yeah.
All right.
And I hate to be the guy who's like, you know, back in my day, but back in my day, you know, you had to find out about a show when you went to another show and there was a poster on the wall of the venue or while you were standing in line in the glass up front.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather society just go back to that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I'm trying to find out ways that I can actually pull my phone out of my pocket less times during the day.
I feel that 100%.
yeah.
Like, that's honestly the sole reason I wear a watch
Yeah.
is so that I don't pull my phone out of my pocket every time I want to know what time it is.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. And I think there was a minute, or not a minute, there was a while there where I got like way too focused on the social media thing. And it was like, this is everything because this is where the world's at.
Well, there was a boom in that, though, there for a little while where if you manipulated it and played the game, the algorithm, as you said earlier, it would take you places.
Totally. And it still can, I feel like. But I also don't think that you 100% need it. I think rather than the world saying this is the way, the world's kind of said, well, this is a way.
Right.
And then you can do it another way, which if you want to be a pop artist, okay, like you got to play the social media thing.
Well, yeah, because you have to have an image
Exactly.
as a pop artist.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're doing the, alternative scenes like jam scenes, I think that you can get to a point without social media, and then until you don't get to, but like at the point that you do start to need it, you'll have resources where you can just start doing.
But then
things
also
like
on
that,
the reverse of that, you could get to a certain point where social media is not going to, like, it's not helping you anymore. You've already made it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Like Roger Waters does not need social media.
Well, he didn't need it before because he's been around since the 70s or 60s doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Right.
But like, so, but if you look at Humphreys, right, like they're very active on social media.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
But I would almost venture to say that Humphreys is at the level that their name itself on a bill is already drawing.
Yeah.
They actually, they're large enough that the social media interaction I don't think is necessary for them anymore.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
Any of those top tier bands, it's just like people are going to go see Fish. They know when Fish is playing.
Yeah, Fish is like...
They know their tour. They know they've already bought dates to 3 different cities. All those jam bands have that kind of...
That
like the
following.
social media almost seems like redundant
word of
to
mouth,
me after a
grassroots
certain
thing.
after a certain
We've never done social media and then
height.
I feel you, yeah.
we've had a lot of people just word of mouth shit
Yeah.
for us, which has been like great, because it's way more fulfilling because like people are talking
Yeah,
instead
totally.
of just like looking at their phones and being like, oh yeah, and then forgetting that shit,
Yeah, it's less of a look at me and
Yeah.
more of just like the merit of what you're doing type thing.
Yeah. People couldn't find us after the Watchford Panic show, and like people were blowing me up being like, you've got to do something with your social media, and I just thought it was hilarious
Yeah.
that they couldn't find us. They were like, I love that band, who the fuck was that? And then they just like, why can't I find this band? What is that?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny,
Ghost band.
Yeah.
Ghost band, yeah.
There's an allure to that now that everybody there's this thing where because everybody is on social media doing the thing, it's almost like if you're not, then that sets you apart. Whereas before you have to find the angle and what makes you stand out on social media. But now because everybody's trying to find their unique angle on social media, that takes away from the uniqueness of what they're doing. Where if you say fuck it all together, that's really like the thing that people take note of, you know. I think, anyways. I don't know. This fucking.
Well, I'm gonna go with that
so
route,
weird.
but really, what it is I'm too lazy to do that shit. So like, it's like I don't care
I just
enough
don't
to do
care
it.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though.
That's my thing.
It doesn't hurt to have, though, right?
It doesn't hurt to have.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not putting a lot of work into it and everything, but like, it doesn't take away from the word of mouth shit.
No, yeah.
It
for
just
sure.
makes word of mouth
For
easier.
sure.
Hey, let me send you this fucking band that's dope.
Well,
Versus, you gotta believe me. I think they're dope. I was pretty fucked up when I saw them, but they're awesome. They're great.
Yeah.
So
That's it, man.
when I was in LA, most of the people that I met in the film industry were all like oh, what's your Insta handle?
Yeah.
Like, there's no business cards. You're not handing somebody a portfolio.
Yeah, I stopped doing
They
business
want your
cards a long
Insta,
time ago,
and then they're just going to look at that and go, I want to work with this person or not.
Yeah, and they'll look at it. I've seen it happen before. They look at it on the spot,
Right.
And they'll decide right then and there whether or not they're gonna even give you a second thought. You know?
Yep.
That's why I stopped doing business cards a while ago. Is I met somebody that worked at like in the insurance industry, not even like the entertainment industry, just in insurance, and they were like,
what a loser.
yeah,
What a loser.
that guy fucking sucks. No, but he was.
No offense to any of you, claims adjusters out there.
No, but he was telling me, he was like, yeah, I stopped doing business cards a long time ago because nowadays if I need to know who you are or you need to know who I am, we'll get the information. Like me giving you a card is not going to do anything.
Correct.
Well, I heard
that's like saying you throw this away.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And
Here's my trash.
Money. Exactly. You're spending money to do it. Like you have to order all these cards.
Oh, yep.
No one really, and people ask you for cards now. And you're just like, well, just follow me on social media or something.
Yeah,
Let's just do it that way. It's just easier and eco-friendly, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotta save the turtles, bro.
Save the turtles. There's this fucking who's this the comedian that said, oh, Nate Bargatze. You guys know who that is?
Mm-mm.
He's a really funny comedian, and he was like, it's like he's like, I'm all for like saving the world and all that stuff, but you guys found one picture of a turtle with a straw in their nose. There's so many turtles and so many straws out there. Do you know how many didn't get a straw in their nose? That's like a fucking, like, for that turtle to get a straw in their nose. And
I would say it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
That's the only turtle that's ever happened to.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, no. There was that turtle that had the straw in its nose, but also had like a cargo net with like bales of cocaine in it. And they were like, what has this turtle been up to? He's got like a straw coming out of his nose.
Living his best life.
That was somebody's pet for sure.
That's so funny, bro.
Pablo Escobar? Like,
But what's super dumb is they hand you a plastic cup with a paper straw in it. And you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, like what
I will say, in this defense, some of those cups you may not realize are actually made of corn.
I do know that.
Okay. Yes, some of them. I'm not saying everybody, splurges on the Fabricol corn cup.
Most people don't, but that's even better.
The corn cups? What's that?
No, I was just trying to find the turtle. Don't let me distract you.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Coke turtle.
We need to get that fucking TV up and running so we can just see it on the television. That's
awesome.
I don't have my glasses on, so I still can't see it, but I'm sure it's amazing.
31 mine?
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty much exactly what was just described is all I'm gonna say.
I know I'm a dick, but has anybody taken a piss break in these podcasts?
Do your thing, bro.
Where's the bathroom?
If you go out that door to the left, all the way down to the
Down
hall.
the sketch alley, first door on the left.
And make another left. You'd be surprised how quickly it goes.
That's true.
It just like fucking flies.
It like seems like it takes a lot to get started, but then once people get comfortable, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, that's my time.
It flies.
It's like being at the therapist and like, oh.
Isn't that... So I did a little bit of therapy last year, and I think it definitely helped, but it's also something weird about how transactional it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, we're in a real deep conversation here. We're making progress.
Right.
And then you just, all right, so we're
Mr.
done.
Laplume, well,
yeah, it's like
next Tuesday?
You just stop caring right now.
Right.
Like that's just a switch that you got.
Right.
And then I gotta leave with all this unresolved
compartmentalizing
shit.
like that is a true skill.
It's
I don't know a lot of people that can do that.
Totally, and that's amazing. But
I can't. I would go home later and be like, the guy and his kids, and I should probably call the authorities. And
it's just there's something about it that seems there's something about it that seems cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm just like it cheapens the relationship. I feel like.
Right.
I don't know.
Tom Bennett says that he prefers a life coach.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially the same thing.
Just they didn't get a license to do it.
Except the life coach is really, instead of medically, they're more just pushing you to be a more efficient person and accomplish your goals, which eventually is going to probably make you happier, less depressed. You know what I mean? Your life is progressing. Whereas the doctor, my big thing about the doctors is like, I just want to talk to you. I don't need your pills. I don't need any of the shit, your agenda with the pharmaceuticals and shit. I don't want any of that.
Right.
I just want you to tell me what this dream means. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like whatever it was that week that I wanted to vent out.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
which means, in my opinion, then the life coach might be
A better way to
be
go.
a better way to go.
But is it still like, I mean, do you know what that dynamic is? Is it still like a session that you do where you pay them and then it's
I
over
think-
after this time? And,
So Tom says that his life coach is like, generally he'll just call and be like, hey, you got a minute? And then she'll be like, yeah, I've got, however long, like maybe she's busy. She's like, yeah, what's up? 15 minutes. You know what I mean? He just pays her like as they go for whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic. I feel like we were talking about therapy and
Yeah.
how it's an interesting thing because you become very close with this person that you're divulging all this information to,
Yeah.
right? And it's also very one-sided, so they're not giving you any in return.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the 45 minutes or an hour or whatever it is, they just shut the conversation down. So all right, so we're done, and you're like,
then you got to pay them.
then you gotta pay them.
Right. You're
yeah.
saying how transactional it felt.
It just cheapens
For sure,
it
yeah.
because like you really do feel like this person cares about you
Yeah.
and what you're going through and they want to help you.
Yep.
But then as soon as that hour's up, you're just basically garbage to them.
Yeah.
Like until next week, you're just a bag that's inhaling oxygen.
Right.
Right.
I think the beauty in therapy.
Money, please.
Exactly.
I think the beauty in therapy, even though I've never like actually done it, is like you're talking about it.
Totally.
You know, you're getting it out and you're like letting it out into the world, and like that's got to be a way to relieve shit too. You know,
Definitely.
but like I've never done therapy. I've just always talked to like a friend and everything, which sometimes
tell,
is
buddy.
dangerous. You know.
We can tell.
Yeah. I'm a little wild. But sometimes it's dangerous because, you know, like some friends don't work out that well and they got a lot of bullshit on you and everything. But the people that you do talk to that are the real friends, it strengthens that relationship too. You know,
Yeah.
which that also helps knowing that you've got somebody that's got your back.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you know?
For sure, man. That's
So-
I mean, like having real friends definitely means the world in that regard.
Yeah.
for
And it's
sure.
vulnerable too, man, you know, because you're putting it out there, bro. You're putting like your dirty clothes, you know?
Totally.
So it's a hard thing to do. But, you know, like I said, it strengthens your relationship with whoever you're talking to. And then you get another way of like looking at it, you know, from somebody else's perspective instead of a therapist that like is just reading out of a textbook.
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit to getting the perspective because therapists don't typically like they do. I feel like they do offer like perspective, but it's really just trying to help you. They're trying to lead you to come to the realization, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so
well, yeah, they want you to come to that realization, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why they're always
Yeah.
asking, how did that make you feel?
exactly
Because they're trying to get you to like
understand
walk that circle yourself.
exactly.
Yeah, I've never done it.
They're just
don't even know how it actually works.
Yeah,
You know?
totally that.
Yeah. I don't even know how it actually works or like how you would go about doing that. But like, I don't need somebody like just doing textbook bullshit. How does that make you feel? You know, sometimes I want to hear somebody being like, yeah, dude, I went down that road, you know, like shit got rough for a long time, you know? And like, that's what you want to hear. You
I think
wanna hear
that's
that
you're
somebody
thinking
else-
what less of a therapist and more of a counselor.
See, that's how little
know?
I know about the whole situation.
Yeah. Well, something.
Isn't that not the same thing?
A counselor is somebody who more like, in my opinion, and maybe they are synonymous with each other, but like a therapist is a doctor and a counselor is somebody who empathizes with you, shares similar stories to help you understand, you know, how like that's all part of life and,
Yeah. Huh.
you know, bullshit.
Yeah. Well, if you think about
Thought it was the same.
like if you think about
Fucking
like
gay ass life.
Yeah. The thing about
Like, bro, your life pretty is lame, man. You should feel like shit.
that's like the like the dynamic of like when if you go to like rehab and you have like sponsors, right?
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
basically they empathize with you, like they're right there with you. It's like, yeah, well, you know, this is what I went through. It helps because you know that there is somebody else having gone what you're going through. And helping you come to a realization, like they've set an example that like it is possible to get out of this or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whereas with therapy, although valuable, it just to me, I couldn't help but feel like it was this thing. Like the relationship didn't really mean anything. How could you truly care about the information that I'm giving you if at the end of this hour, all I need to do is pay you? And then you can just put it out of your head. And
Yeah.
what happens if I don't pay you?
Yeah.
Right? Because then that becomes, then we get litigation involved. It's a whole thing. It's like, this is not a real relationship.
Yeah.
And there's something about the information that's so personal and real that it just seems like it's, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like it. You know?
So anytime people talk to me about anything serious, I always like end up making jokes and things like that. And so Brianna said something to me one day. She's like, if you went to therapy, would you make these kinds of like sarcastic like jokes in therapy? And I'm like, well, I would probably be myself. And so like I'm kind of a jokester as it is. My entire life is a joke, right? She's like, therapist looks down, doesn't laugh.
Yes, right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're like, yeah, that's probably
like damn, dude, that was a good one.
Yeah,
like, that was a good one. You didn't laugh at all.
Yeah,
I need another
Seriously?
therapist.
And
Like, you have no fucking sense of humor,
Like, what am I paying you for?
right?
yeah. That's so funny, bro.
Paying you to laugh at my jokes.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like back on to like how this like relates to music. Do you guys, when you're writing, do you write from that kind of place of vulnerability, or do you think trying to maybe write about a story or just something that's not so serious because
Right.
it's just easier to do that, right? So it's like, for me, I like to write about things that are very vulnerable and real because I have a way of detaching from the information once it's out there. In writing that way, I can work things out because I'm getting it on paper. I'm thinking it through. I'm trying to think of like the efficient way to like to write this, and you know, you're working shit out while you're writing the tune. Have you guys like had this experience before?
Usually what I do, if it's like lyrics, like I'll just like sit down with a notebook and like straight up close my eyes and just write nonsense and see what comes out and everything. But sometimes with like a cluster song we have called Smokey, I was up in the Tennessee mountains, man, and we had seen like a family of bears previously in the day. And then I was like working on the song like into the night, but on a porch. And all of a sudden I heard like walking and crackling, and I was like, oh shit, I better get inside. That might be a bear. You know? So it was just crazy as hell. But then I wrote this like total like fictional song about a bear just like destroying towns.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like, there's like multiple ways for me to do it, but I tend to not write about emotional, serious things because I'm not an emotional, serious person.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm either glad or mad.
Therapy.
They're right.
Therapy.
Exactly. Somebody who's avoiding.
Everybody's gonna comment on this and be like, Kalen needs therapy big time.
Yeah.
But you know, that's why I do construction, man. If I get mad, I just start hitting random shit. Yeah.
I think the outlet is important. That's kind of like the where I was going with it, is where I feel like if you have the outlet, whether it's writing or if it is construction where you can get it out and demoing stuff or like whatever it might be, I think that therapy thing helps for people that don't have like the outlet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you, do you write songs with lyrics, or you?
I do.
Okay.
Most of my songs are written, actually, I could probably just say all of them are written high as hell,
Okay.
alone in a car on a drive.
Hell yeah.
And I don't like choose to write them then. They just
They just
happen.
come.
Yeah.
And it might start with a sentence, like a one line, or it might start with a melody, and then I pull out my voice recorder on my phone and I'll hum the melody, and then I'll just like catharsis, just pumping out material, and then I'll go through later, edit it, write it down, rearrange, change out words that I might have like put a little more thought into and was like, no, this word would be better here. Stuff like that. That's usually how I do it.
Yeah.
And then it turns from, it could be one line in the car on the way from the gas station to my house, a block. And then later I'm looking through my notes when I'm sitting at the piano and I'm like, ooh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then I'll just hammer it out.
Do you feel like once you go through that process, because do you typically pull from ideas that are coming from like a vulnerable place, or is it more kind of like trying to make a joke out of something?
So my songs, I think, do come from a little more vulnerable place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, they're usually about some sort of love of something. It could be drugs. It could be women. It could be music. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And it never directly actually says.
Oh,
Rookie move.
Rookie move.
Got your fucking phone.
I was like, who fucking didn't turn their ringer off? Oh, that's me.
Dude, I think mine went off earlier, and I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I'll never actually come forward and say what it is, but it's written in a way that the listener could actually take that to any interpretation of something going on in their life.
Right.
which I think works because then, you know, if somebody, I might have written this song about my daughter or something, but it's written in a way that it's just a love song about my love for my child, but then somebody else is like over there like trying to beat heroin addiction and thinks it somehow pertains to their situation. And I think I like that about songs when they can be like that.
Yeah, that's the beauty in writing music, where it's like the perspective, like people can put their own perspective on it, right? And especially when you write relatively vaguely about something,
right? Whereas like he said about Smokey the Bear, like that is a song, a fictional song about a bear ravaging a town,
right?
So like there is no like, you know, what if he's talking about my situation? You know what I mean? It is a story.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on like rock and roll and like outlaw country shit. That was like a lot of storytellers and everything. So like I tend to write about things that I think are cool, like fucking robbing a bank and dipping on the law. You know, like I would never do it personally, but like just the imagination of a child, I guess, thinking about that's like cool, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And then Smokey was cool. Like it's just one of those things, man, that if it comes to you, just like let it roll.
Yeah,
You know?
For sure.
If it's something, do it with it. If it's not, you know, let it go on.
Yeah. Well, there's also like even in the storytelling approach, there's still like a moral to it. There's like a lesson to be learned there, or there's something that can still be taken out, you know, and applied in other things. So it's like like I wrote a song a long time ago called The Temptress, and it was just about like this chick who robs dudes, you know, leads them on and makes them think that they're gonna like hook up, and then she drugs them, and then they wake up with all their shit gone. And
But she doesn't bang him either?
She doesn't bang them either.
Oh, that sucks.
It was kind of like
but you got to at least bang him and then rob him.
well,
Got double robbed.
You know what I mean? That way they wake up and they're like, worth it.
you
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Well, it's
best night of my life.
it's
Worth it.
Sandra or whatever
yes, right.
her name is.
Well, it's funny because I built like this entire backstory to this off this one song, and then like the last Side Hustle EP that we did, every song was kind of based on a different aspect of her life. So it was like, and it's cool because there's a moral with, I'm not going to go into all of it right now, it's a lot, but there's a moral to her life and to the story there, and how it represents a lot of what today's culture is, like that grind and hustle culture. I love it when people can take a story and like shroud it in like more like moral lessons and stuff like that, you know?
Right.
And sometimes it helps with it because you can like remove yourself from the equation and put a character in your place.
Yep.
Right. You know, then you can really allow yourself to get vulnerable and weird because like it's not really you anymore.
You can actually step into fantasy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I like that too. Never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's fun. Like songwriting is such an amazing process, and it's like kind of annoying sometimes because like you get stuck on shit and then like you're not hearing the ideas, like the words aren't coming to you. You don't know how you want to transition this to there. It doesn't take much sometimes, I feel like anyways, to just say fuck this, I'm not doing this right now.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I said it earlier and I'll say it again. Weed is like, I don't know what it is about weed for me and songwriting, but it becomes like steroids for like performance enhancing for me entirely.
Man. You're open to it.
I don't know what it is, but like just the right, you know, amount, and
see, I'll
it
smoke
just
and just
flows out.
Yeah.
I'll smoke
Almost like
everything.
effortlessly, which is crazy. And then like I'll hit a brick wall and just be like
And then you're going again.
right back at it.
That's
you know?
awesome. I'm with you. I forget shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like I do a lot of noodling and just wandering,
Yep.
right?
I'll spend 15 minutes looking for a word on Google.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
feel that.
straight up, I'll be like, dude, what's that word? And then like just try to like Google it up, and then I'll find it, and then be like, well, I don't want to use that word. That word ain't right. So now I'm gonna try to
That word
find like a
sucks.
synonym or something for it, you know, and it's just like a rabbit hole of just like, I didn't know that was a word, you know, like,
That's
and then like
actually one thing
totally
that's-
gone.
That's always impressed me about hip hop guys is just how many words they know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be like some guy who is, I mean, any walk of life, you know what I mean? Like they could either be a college graduate or like hood rat, and they all just have such a vast amount of like word knowledge because they have to spin things from different ways to get to their point, especially freestylists.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
blows my mind.
Oh yeah. If I know how like into hip hop you guys are, but if you ever listen to like Papoose, he is so good at that stuff. He had a song that came out back when I was like in high school, and it was called Alphabetical Slaughter, and he goes through the entire alphabet. And while he's on one letter, every word that he says starts with that letter. So he goes through the whole alphabet like that. And these are cohesive sentences.
They're not nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
That sounds so hard.
That's wild.
And then he did a remix of it where he does it backwards later on.
Wow.
So it's like, and then you listen to it to all of his music, and it's just like you're like, damn, this dude is talking about real shit. And he's doing it in a way that's like so descriptive.
He did that so he would never get arrested in a DUI.
Yeah, right? It's like, bitch, I'll not only say this shit backwards, but I'll fucking rap.
He's like, dude.
And then you know what they write down, though? If you did that, does not follow directions.
Yeah.
Because
also probably on crystal meth.
This guy is definitely hammered, yeah.
I got a DUI stop one time, which I passed the sobriety test.
Flying colors.
I probably shouldn't have been driving, but I had just gotten out of marching band, and the guy was like, I'm going to put down 10 yards of tape, and I want you to take that in exactly 8 steps, and I want you to turn around and walk back to the origin. And I was like, 8 steps and 10 yards? That is literally core marching. And I was like, I could do this shit in my sleep. And I like literally looked at him and was like, and then about faced and everything and rotated and walked back, and he wrote does not follow directions because I like looked at him and about faced and like rotated my body with it. It was hysterical. All my friends were in the car like, dude, stop fucking with this guy.
Awesome, dude.
God, bro.
But I ended up getting let go because I clearly wasn't intoxicated.
Clearly.
They always do the pin thing with me. They're just like, follow the pin. And I'm like, shit.
Your eyes are like beep, 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 beep.
Like, shit.
Like a sprinkler.
I told
Not passing that one.
I had a cop do that to me one time, and I did go to jail for the DUI.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Damn.
And I was so stupid because like I was doing fine, but he already knew that I was drunk, but I was like passing all the tests. I did like the fucking, the eye follow thing. And then he was like, look at your eyes, we're fucking all over the place. And I was like, bro, even if I was sober, I couldn't pass that. I just admitted to it right there.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I was
That is a story I would have taken to the grave. Nobody would have ever heard that. I'd
That
been
was
like,
just out there, dude.
it's out there.
to be fair, I was
Damn.
gone.
Yeah.
I was on like a bunch of Percocets and like drinking and
Oh,
smoking.
man. Yeah,
I was,
no bueno.
Yeah, it was just, and they got me because I was speeding. I was just in a neighborhood that I didn't know, and I was speeding, and that's all it was. But I was, whatever. I just thought like he was like, yeah, you could definitely do that if you were sober, bro. Now you're definitely going to jail. It's like, fuck,
Dude, like 3 or 4 years ago, it was the same thing for me. I was going through a neighborhood, like speeding late for a gig. And like I had been up that morning drinking mimosas and like stayed up till like 4 the night before, just drinking hard as hell, Had a 12-pack of beer and an open Budweiser in my car. I was driving Whitney. Yeah.
Raise hell.
I was
Damn.
driving Whitney's car and it was just hauling. They pulled me over and it was just one of those things like, well, I'm going to jail,
Oh, you hate to see it.
And then they're like looking through the car and they pulled me out to do a sobriety test and I do the test and they're like, why do you reek of alcohol? And I'm like, I was drinking last night, I stayed up late. I haven't had a drink this morning. I'm totally lying,
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, well, I need you to like slow it down. Here's a ticket. Gave me a ticket and let me go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I got beer.
You love to see
like open beer, like just sitting in there. And I know it smells. It's Budweiser. It's a hot Budweiser. So I know it smells. But
just
let
like
you go.
grandpa.
past that thing, yeah.
Fucking wild, bro.
Yeah. Whitney was like, what happened? I looked at the location. You were just on the side of the road. And I was like, I got pulled over. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh my God, bro. She must have been freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, you were already let go by that point.
Yeah,
but-
I was good. Yeah, she's like, I knew you got pulled over when you weren't texting me. And I was like, yeah, dude, they got me. And then I got them. Dude, we're good.
Yeah. One time I was right before we moved to Jacksonville. It's like when Chelsea and I had we were still we had just started dating kind of only a few months in. I was crashing at her house that night. And I was on the way back from a gig. I texted her. I was like, I got pulled over. I did actually get pulled over, but I wasn't drinking that night, thankfully. So the cop just gave me a ticket and whatever. But I told her, I'm getting pulled over. She's like, are you fucking serious? I was like, fuck yeah, I am. And then, anyways, after the cop lets me go, I was like, I'm gonna fuck with her a little bit. I was like, oh, they're taking me to jail. And she was like, what the fuck? So we're about to move. Like, you're gonna be now. You gotta come back down, the whole fucking thing. And she's like freaking out. And then 5 minutes later, I knock on the door, and I was like, I'm here. Didn't go to jail.
That's
awesome.
Dude, I had told Caleb that I got arrested one time on the phone, but it was just joking, you know, and he was just like, what the fuck, man? Damn. And I was just like, oh, I'm just playing, ha, ha, ha. So then when I actually got arrested, I called him, and he was like, oh, dude, fuck off, and hung up on me. And I had to call him back, and I was like, no, dude, I'm really getting arrested. You have to come get my car. Like, I'm not bullshitting. And he was like, dude, are you serious? And he sounded like I was putting him out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to jail. Like, it's the cops' fault. Like,
It's definitely the cop's fault.
Yeah.
it's totally the cops' fault.
Totally the cop's fault.
All for an unpaid ticket.
I actually went to jail in 2019 for I had an expired tag, and I got a ticket for it. It's like a $15 ticket. Like, it's nothing, right? I didn't realize though that you get a court date with an expired tag.
Yeah.
Because you have to prove in court that you've had your tag renewed. And I didn't go to the court date. They literally showed up to Dunedin Brewery and drugged me out in handcuffs, like in front of all my employees and everything, at like 9 in the morning.
Damn,
I was
dude.
like, y'all suck. I was like, for a $15 expired tag, like my truck's right there. Like, go just look at the tag. It's not expired anymore.
Literally,
Bro.
bro. That's so fucking annoying, bro.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
It's all about that money, man.
Right?
And they want to make an example out of you too. Like, they have to like prove up. Like, they have to make some kind
Yeah,
of
so like I
spectacle out of
had
it.
to, I had to
Yeah.
go spend the night in jail for a $15 expired tag.
And they came to your
Make that
work.
make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They came to your work and did it in front of all your
right.
employees and shit.
Make that
too.
make sense to me.
Yeah, and then you gotta like pretend like you have respect for that title of like, you know, I'm not one of these people that hates cops, right? There's
Right.
there's a lot of good
I have
cops
friends
out
that are cops, and they're
Yeah.
great cops.
Exactly. But at the same time, you did choose that job knowing that you'd have to enforce some bullshit ass laws.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
if knowing that, there's a piece of me that I'm like, yeah, but fuck you, because you know
Right.
that even though you were that kid in school that got busted smoking pot, and
Yeah.
you know what that experience was like, you're gonna go put that on somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna go throw an innocent guy in jail for missing for not updating his tags, or
Right.
for driving with a suspended license, even though
And it was September. My birthday's in August, so it wasn't even like
it's like right
It
there.
wasn't like it was like, oh, your tag says 2006 and it was 2020 or anything. You know,
Jeez, dude.
bad
it's like
for
literally
fucking
year
morale,
prior.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's bad for morale.
But also, I'm the fucking idiot that didn't realize I had to go to court.
right. I guess. But
I had just moved, never got the letter in the mail or anything. Like, you know, they send like a reminder
Yeah.
thing about it.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
got it because I
Yeah.
had just moved, and
Damn,
that was
man.
pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Brianna and I had been dating like a month. I called her, was like, yeah, I'm going to jail. And I thought she was going to break up with me because she was like, how are you like in your 30s and like still going to jail for dumb shit? Like,
That's hilarious.
like I hadn't
dude.
been
How are you
arrested in like
going to
15
jail?
years, like since I was like 20, 21 or something. But,
yeah. So this is recently that this happened.
yeah, 2019.
Oh right, you said that. 2019.
I was like, man, I'm an
Dude.
idiot.
Fuck, bro. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. All right, we gotta do unpopular opinions. I gotta get out of here for a gig, unfortunately. I just want to cancel my gig and hang out with you guys. It'd be way more fun.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Way better.
I actually already canceled it for you.
Oh, you did?
Was it at ABBQ?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Good
You said Atlantic Beach earlier, and I was like, I got one guest.
yeah.
Damn it.
Flinches.
No, I'm playing at Ragtime.
That's Jack's Beach.
What?
Ragtime was my second choice.
That was your second choice? Yeah. No offense to
Lynch's?
Ragtime.
Yeah, that's
gig
Jack's
is-
Beach. Flies Tie is Atlantic Beach.
I don't know shit.
I do geography good.
It's a beach. There's water.
Right. You guys got some unpopular opinions you want to discuss?
I should have done homework on that.
God damn it, Chris.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know these guys.
Yeah.
What, was I supposed to do that?
Have you
No,
guys
it's-
seen this podcast?
What's an unpopular opinion?
It's an opinion.
The thing
that's
is that-
not
What a
popular.
clusterfuck.
The thing is like,
Oh.
everyone for a second pauses, like, he's being serious.
I was told there would be no homework.
yeah.
I have one.
What is
And
it?
it's one that you've said prior
Okay.
on another podcast episode. And I'm just going to agree with you that having never really fully listened to the solo on Layla,
Don't
Yes.
you dare say it, bro. Don't say it. I knew you were going to say that.
I I saw the podcast and I immediately was like, bullshit.
Yeah.
And like I went and listened to it. I was like, ow.
Yeah.
Ow. It's
Thank
almost
you.
painful.
Thank you.
It's almost painful.
Thank you. That's not
So-
to disparage Dwayne Allman.
Absolutely not.
Dwayne Allman.
Absolutely not.
One of my favorites of all time.
One of the greats.
That being said, you don't gotta like everything he did, and
Right.
that was one of those travesty moments where it was where the engineer had to really earn their paycheck on that one. Is all I'm saying. You know.
I think it's a great solo, but I do want to know what the fuck happened. You know, like
Yeah.
was his guitar just like in a different tuning and everything? But
I think there was something about it was supposed to be. I think there is something weird with the tuning where they had to speed some shit up and then like slow some other stuff down and make it
Yeah.
match. If there's a good story
see, and
behind
that's
it.
tough with that old school recording,
Yeah.
that reel to reel stuff where you're just like, oh man, if that thing's not spinning at the right rate, everything's gonna sound flat
Right.
or
Yeah.
sharp,
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
which is pretty wild.
Makes sense.
There is a story.
We'll blame it on that.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
blame it on that.
yeah.
Blame it on that.
No, Dwayne played a perfect solo. It was the technology.
Oh, definitely for sure. Yeah,
100%.
We'll blame on technology.
100%.
That being said, though, like if that solo was in tune, like that motherfucker would have been like even better than it is already. But it would have been like taking you to church.
He had, he had some really I know what he was going for, right? And there's a lot of really good ideas there.
Yeah.
It was just the execution. I thought for a song that's so iconic was well below par.
Right.
Yeah.
For as popular as the song is.
Exactly.
Like if it was a deep cut or something, that'd be different. But
Yeah.
because it was a hit, that would be I think
On
you're right
the Derek
about
and the
that.
Dominoes
Yeah.
album,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
So-
Good one. I agree
Yeah.
with that. That one. Maybe
I
we'll
had
get
to
another
bring that
viral
back
TikTok
up.
clip on that one.
Let's strike one, Alex.
Strike one? Sick.
Sick. Yeah. Sick.
Oh yeah.
It's taking that long. That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
not
that-
bad. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that's not bad.
doing good.
What you got, Korndog? You got an unpopular opinion for us?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? All
I'm
right.
still working on mine.
Word. Chris, what you got?
All right. We treat people who say Freebird at shows too kindly. The minute you say that, you enter a contract where I should be able to ridicule the fuck out of you and just, you open that door. Like, we shouldn't have to say some polite bullshit after Freebird.
I just ignore people
I
straight
agree.
up.
Okay.
Do that.
So, I'm going to argue this. I think that if you're in Jacksonville, being that Skinner is from here, you could yell that shit, but it does open up to be fucking heckled.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
and the band should totally just fucking
Go.
ream you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be great. I don't yell Freebird. I always yell turn it up. But I only yell turn it up after it has been so fucking loud, like, you know, like the most epic part of the night, and the solo ends and there's this giant stop, and I'll be like, turn it up,
Yeah.
because everybody's already like so deaf anyways.
Yeah.
But that's also a Skinnerd thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't help myself. I can't.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
Well, it's better than Freebird. Freebird is the most obnoxious thing, and I feel what I want to do. I've had this idea for a long time. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because I'm being lazy. But I want to get bottom of the bill shirts made that says I'm the guy that yelled Freebird at a bar, or that says I'm with the guy that yelled Freebird at
Nice.
the bar, and then
Nice.
just start throwing them out at bars at people who yell Freebird and be like, "You earned
that
this
way,
shirt."
if you ever
Yeah.
see that
Earned it.
person, you're like,
You know.
fucking tool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
So this all stems from one time I was on a gig and my band leader, like, I got in trouble because someone shouted Freebird and I was just not having a good day, and I just like kind of paused and just went at this person and eventually was like, oh, I'm just gonna, and it got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna make stickers and hand them out. I'm the Freebird asshole. This is you. Thank you, man. This is great. And like I got chewed out for that. It did not go super well. I just think there should be a general understanding, like, if you want to play the game, shout Freebird and then let the games begin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
absolutely.
a guy. I was playing at your place the other night, and some old dude shouted that at me.
You're at my place?
Yeah.
I was just about
You
to make that
you dug
move,
it?
too.
Oh yeah, really original, guys. Welcome to Jacksonville. That's more Jacksonville than Freebird.
That's at this point, that's actually true. Yeah.
But
you're right.
this guy shouts it out, and I was like, man, just like your haircut, that song should stay in 1975.
Nice.
Just play the game, man. You should be allowed to play the game. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just ignore them at this point. If they yell Freebird and like they want me to hear them, I just pay him because the thing is, I'm like, I'll think of a great response like 30 minutes later. I'm not a quick person. It takes me a minute. So
You just walk up and like tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Listen, dude," like, and then you just tell him that.
30 minutes later,
He's like, "Did I scream
see,
Freebird?"
then, now, like, you're harboring it for 30 minutes. Like, if you're still thinking about that asshole 30 minutes from now, therapy.
Well, here's,
Therapy.
so here's
Right.
so here's
We're tying. Everything's coming full circle.
So
here.
here's where my silence comes into play, because that actually is my diss to them. It's like, I'm not even going to justify what you're saying with a response or an acknowledgement.
Right.
And that's how I get my fuck you in, because they don't like that shit either.
Yeah.
'Cause they want you to like give them a smile or yeah, we'll play or whatever. They want you to come back with something.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to acknowledge it, and that's my fuck you, because I can't think of anything clever to say in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy just goes like, free beer? Free beer?
So S.P.O.R.E actually,
That's a
I
good
forgot
one. Yeah.
that we did do a half cover one time, and it was Freebird,
Yeah.
but it was just the guitar solo at the end.
I do that
Yeah,
too, actually.
yeah.
So we because we figured out that it actually matches up with one of our like real heavy hitting tunes, and we just at the very end just boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Well, that works out good too, because it was
And
out of
then
the
we
song.
got Greg up there, my brother, and he learned the entire solo note for note
Nice.
and crushed it, and it
Nice.
was incredible.
wow.
And the crowd actually went ape shit.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, it
course.
was hilarious because somebody had already yelled Freebird too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good.
So good.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be so good.
See, that's one of the times that it works to scream Freebird, but like, how much times does it not work, and they just still do it? You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
because the thing is that people think that it's like kind of ironic now to do it because
Yeah.
it's so overdone, but it's like, no, it was overdone in the 80s.
I just
right?
love Leonard
Now-
Skinner so much.
Yeah.
I do too, but like, out
I
of
really
all the
do.
songs-
Like it doesn't bother me at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Skinner, but definitely when I moved to Jacksonville, I thought for sure it wouldn't happen here, because it was like, there's no way
Right.
that they're gonna do it. Like, that would be so cliche.
Oh, it happens
Yeah.
more here.
Oh, it happens,
Happens way more
the
here.
most
Way more.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way
It
more.
happens the most here.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro,
I like I might actually get mad if I was in like Portland and
Yeah.
somebody yelled Freebird. I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
you haven't heard
Yeah.
that shit,
Right?
Yeah,
But like if you're in the Dirty D,
yeah,
that's Duval for those of you watching from home.
yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, it's also what they call Steve's dick.
Oh, faux show.
I love you, Steve. Sorry, bro, I couldn't help myself.
That's funny.
Um,
We used
but
to call Joe Green Weenie.
Green Weenie.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think it was just because like he would basically sleep with anybody that would talk to him,
Okay.
and so
His
then it
dick was the
developed.
Hulk.
It developed to Greenicus Weenicus.
Okay.
And now anytime Joe calls himself that, he's like, hey, nice to meet you. My name's Greenicus Weenicus.
Oh my,
And then people are just like, fuck is wrong with that guy?
so creepy and weird.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've met Joe.
Yeah.
You like, if you don't know Joe, you're like, this guy has problems.
Yeah.
But if you do know Joe, you're like, oh, he's actually really smart
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
well put together, but he has this wall
Only
of
just beginning.
yeah.
Oh, that was the OBJ thing. What did that happen at? I don't want to get too much into it, but I remember the OBJ one year where it was fun, to say the least.
Don't eat the brown acid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brown acid.
Yeah.
You should proceed to medical tent B.
What a way to fuck with people, like on a mass level.
Right. My dad said a joke. He was at a Hendrix concert and they came over the thing and were like, do not eat the blah, blah, blah. And my dad's looking at his friends. He's going, shit, was that blue or was it green?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
should
that.
we be concerned?
Exactly that.
I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, because that's
It
what
was dark in
happens.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody gave it to us.
Totally. That's why it's so fucking funny. It's like people that were totally fine started freaking out because they
Right.
forgot.
Now they're in their head.
Yeah, exactly. I think that people that sell those how to make money off of your art type packages are total fucking like tools.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like people see that kind of shit. People like really like they buy the books and they listen to the podcasts and they buy the courses, and you're like, bro, if they really knew how to make money off their art, they wouldn't be selling you a how-to package on how to
Yeah.
make money.
They'd
off
be
your
selling you their art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
bro, like we can all sit here and intellectualize the steps to success.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a the thing is doing it. Any rock icon or pop icon of any time will tell you is like I don't know how it works. We did what we did and we just and
I
it
think
worked.
with music, it's right place and right time.
Yeah, man.
100%. Like you have these bands today that are our age, and they're playing in bars and stuff. But if this was 1971 and they were on tour, they would be like the next big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all time and place and.
I think it really is with this
situational.
art shit too. Like if you're buying a book like that or you're listening to this podcast and everything, like you're kind of looking for the fastest way to get big or the fastest way to get out there, and really like the only way to do it is just to fucking do it.
Legwork.
And
It's all legwork.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like you just
You're
gotta
looking
do
for
it.
the
there
get
is
rich
no
quick-
fast.
Yeah.
There is no fast way, like
Exactly. And a lot of those things what they're telling people is just like having your ducks in a row, like, crossing your T's and dotting your I's and shit like that. But it's like, okay, but like, you learn all that as you go anyways. Like, what are you actually selling here?
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, you got to be on top of social. Okay, great. Social media. That's fucking obvious. Oh, you got to publish your tunes. Okay, great. Like, you learn all those things as you go. What are you selling here?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
it's just a fucking con artist pyramid scheme bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I still see those ads on my Instagram feed. I'm just like, this is like this. I'm the wrong fucking one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I could care less about what your opinion is on this subject.
Right.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
It's wild.
I did read Joel Cummins' How to Make It in the Music Industry book.
Yeah.
And that one was actually pretty good.
That's a good book though.
It
from
is.
like
Yeah.
the beginning to the
like
end.
you can, and what I like about it too is there's like reference points, like chapters where you're like, okay, recording, an EP or something, or whatever the subject is that you're curious about. And then he kind of just walks you through how they did it. Not
Right.
necessarily how it, and he even says in like the foreword that, it's not necessarily going to work for everybody, but I'm just sharing how I did it.
Right.
With
Yeah.
my band, which is obviously they're extremely successful.
Yeah, totally.
But it was actually a pretty good read.
It's more of like it sounds more like a biography type situation in the context of their band.
Sort of. Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
and it's also from an actual musician that's made it.
Yeah.
It's not
Right,
just some
so
fucking
it's
blowjob
not-
bro from California being like,
Yeah.
oh, look, this is how you do it.
Right,
And it's
like
like,
if-
bro, you got
like-
like 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like
you
if
know?
Salvador Dali was alive and could do like a how to make it in the art world, I would probably, as an artist, I would buy that.
With his mustache, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? Because you're looking at somebody who's already vastly accomplished
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So that you're like, okay, well, this guy might actually have something to say.
Totally. I really think the more that I try and understand this stuff, I really just think right time and place for sure. And then also being authentically yourself. Because that's all, at the end of the day, it's self-expression, which is what all art is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just think that if you try and be something that you're not within that endeavor, it comes off as not real, and then people don't support it and you fail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unauthentic.
Yeah.
Authenticity is important.
There's so many people trying to be the same shit nowadays.
Yeah. And it's
You
like you
know?
can tell too. It's like you have like a lot of bands, a lot of like jam bands are trying to sound like a regurgitation of like the Dead meets Fish of like whatever. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, but something about it seems a little forced. And then there's bands out there where it seems legit, and those are the ones you start to see like like Goose or whatever. Some of these newer guys coming up where it's okay, it is a jam band, but they kind of have like they're doing what they do and it really works.
Right.
And there's other bands that kind of like just hit, that just don't really do it. And I don't know, it happens like in every genre, I
Yeah.
just think authenticity is like the thing,
Yeah. Yep.
ultimately that sells.
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but social media is the fucking devil.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like it really is. Like more people are worried about that shit and trying to like keep up with everybody else when really it's like people are posting shit that's happening that day. It's all got a filter on it. Every day is not like that.
That's
you know,
the thing.
but
The problem
people
I
think
have
it
with
is.
it too is the facade that people can put
Yeah,
on.
they're trying to portray something.
Right.
And if you're like doing that nonstop, just posting about like, or like somebody that's got like a family, it's like just like drowning you in this happy family, but like behind the scenes, like they're like almost getting a divorce or some shit.
Yeah.
But on Facebook, it's like that. It's like if you're doing it, in my opinion, if you're doing it, you don't have to post about it.
100% that.
I don't have to show you that I'm doing it, because when you see me out and about, that's when you're like, dude, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I don't have to tell you every fucking day that I've got 3 kids and a wife in a fucking garden. That's what I've got. but you'll see it when I'm out and about doing my thing, like being who I am.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. That's very real. Like the people selling you a lifestyle that's not real.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of goes to the music thing too, where they're selling you like these how-to package things. It's like it's all a facade.
Yeah.
It's if you're really doing the thing, you don't need to be showing people on social media that you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of validation are you looking for?
Right.
Why is it
Exactly.
coming from a bunch of random people?
Yeah.
You know.
It's like I've got like I think like 800 friends on Facebook. I probably know like 30 of them.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, it's like some of them are just funny ass people that I follow and stuff like that. But it's like when you start thinking more about social media and like worrying about that shit, you start losing grip of like what's actually happening in front of your face.
It's why Side Hustle broke up, basically, you know, because our focus started going to my focus really started going to other places, and the music stopped becoming a priority or the main priority. And again, like speaking to inauthenticity, like trying to be this like progressive jam band when none of us are really like that as players, or you know, it's just because you like something doesn't mean that you have to try and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also think that when it comes to music, attempting to be like when writing original music, attempting to be a certain genre doesn't really work for authenticity.
Right.
And what you should really do is just write music collectively.
Right.
And then be whatever that is.
Exactly.
Because if you're forcing this agenda of being like a prog jam band, you know what I mean? Well, like S.P.O.R.E wanted to be similar to, say, the likes of STS9. We wanted to be Jamtronic. It never did that. We never actually, it was never Jamtronic, you know, which is, I guess you could maybe call it that because they're synthesizers, but
you guys,
I wouldn't call it that though. Like you guys,
it's definitely not Jamtronic though. It's more like
more in the progressive vein,
yeah,
I
it's
would
more
say.
like just progressive rock jam.
Yeah. And it was fucking damn well executed.
Not really
you know?
electronic music though, and that's what was funny about it is because that's what we were trying to do, but then what came out naturally and authentically was, you know, something else.
Yeah.
It's why it works so well, and why it's still, when you guys do what you do now, it still crushes because it's real.
Appreciate
There's
it.
nothing about what you're
It's a lot
doing.
of fun, that's for sure.
It looks
it shows.
like it.
Right.
It shows.
It's like there's not a part of it that feels like you guys are just there for the paycheck,
Right.
or you guys are just there because you feel like you have to be. Like you guys are friends, you jam well together, and everything that you create on that stage is the outcome of truly caring about what you're trying to give off to the crowd.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is why it works so well. You know,
Yeah.
when you're up there trying to do something that's not real or that you're not truly connected to.
Right.
The crowd picks up on that, and if you're not really connected to it, there's no way they're going to be connected to
Dude,
it.
I played in a reggae band for like 8 months that was just doing all, you know, cover gigs. And I found myself in bars a lot playing reggae. And as a keyboard player, like you should not be in a reggae band unless you are the bass player or the drummer.
Yeah.
Because as a keyboard player, I'm just like,
Yeah.
if I was lucky, I got to bubble. If not, it was just
Sounds like hell.
Yeah.
And I would like catch myself in the bar, like watching basketball on the TV. I don't even watch basketball or sports. And I'd be like, oh, the Lakers are crushing it this season.
Yeah.
Like, why? How am I playing a gig, but like watching a Lakers game simultaneously?
They're not even interested in.
Right.
That's the thing where it's
that
like,
I'm not even interested in, but I'm more interested in that
Exactly.
than I was, you know, going through the motions of, I mean, it got to the point with that band where I was like, I don't even fucking want this money anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get another job.
Fucking Roger Waters did an interview recently where he was talking about that, and he was like, the second that you start wandering when you're on stage, you know, mentally is what he's talking about, obviously. The second that starts happening or you're absent-minded, it's like, it's time to switch it up.
Yeah.
Like, either the career isn't right for you or what you're involved in isn't right for you.
Or the band.
The band, whatever it is. Like,
Absolutely.
you gotta fucking, and I find myself doing it all the time. While I'm playing and singing, I'll be at a bar, like an acoustic gig or whatever, is playing fucking Wagon Wheel or something.
Right.
Yep.
And like,
You would.
TV's on, yeah, I totally
Playing
would,
Can't You
bro.
See?
Yeah. I would never play that song.
Never.
You can't pull that off.
I can't pull that off. I can't sing that way. But I'll be sitting there playing like just whatever tune and just having it. Sometimes it's like my second or third time that day if I've taken on multiple gigs, and like the TV is just on. I'm just sitting there watching TV. Again, something that I'm not interested in at all.
At
Yeah.
all.
And I realize realized I'm
like
already
CNN or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
exactly, and I'm like on the third verse, and I'm like, wait, did I play the second verse? Did I like?
You like stop. You're like,
you're just on
you
autopilot.
like look at everybody
Yeah.
out there. You're like, the fuck was I just talking about?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I've always said once a band or like a group you're being a part of like becomes a job, it's time to just go. Man.
Yeah, totally. On that note, I gotta wrap this shit up, guys. Unfortunately,
Yeah, wrap the shit up, B.
I'm really enjoying the conversation.
Chris, promote our
Same.
after party.
All right, guys, come to our after party. It's June 22nd at 1904. Tedeschi Trucks is going to play a set, not at that venue, but another one, and then we'll be playing right after them. We got a Steely Dan tribute set, and we got some friends coming out to sit in and join us. It's going to be a fucking blast.
Hell yeah.
Tickets
A blast.
on Cluster's Instagram page. Find them there, and we'll see you guys at the show.
I think Chris runs that
What did
one.
he just say?
Yeah.
We have an Instagram.
You can look for it. It's there, I promise.
You got to look really hard.
Well, thank you guys for coming out here today.
Thank you
and
for
doing
having
this.
us,
Thanks
man.
for having us,
Absolutely.
bro.
We'll have to do it again. for
Also, before you stop this, I just have like, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but
Free bird.
can y'all get some air conditioning in this
sure. Yeah,
motherfucker?
Oh, yeah.
for sure, bro.
Fat.
Do y'all think it's hot?
fuck.
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is a popular opinion.
It's a popular
Opinion.
This week with Alex's
This-
popular
Look, man,
opinions.
We just moved in here like a couple days ago. We
Gotcha.
just finished up, so we're still working out the kinks.
None
Yeah,
of
it's
the
hot.
none of the viewers at home could smell this podcast until you said that. So fuck you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Hey.
Peace out, guys.